Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Frisco. It is Friday, the 30th of January. This is CTV News. Tonight, here we snow again, preparing for another wintry blast. Unleashing the hammer, the Nova Scotia curling shot fans are still talking about. And skates and smiles. When life gives you ice, you make a rink.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Bruce Frisco.
Good evening. February appears determined to come in like a lion. Another significant snowstorm is on the way as the weekend winds down. We'll hear more about that from meteorologist Kaylin Mitchell in just a moment. Meantime, after back-to-back storms, crews and residents are shifting into preparation mode. Here's CTV's Hafsa Arif.
It's a familiar sight across Halifax. Bundled up pedestrians, snowbanks still lining roads and sidewalks. While most people are heading into the weekend, city crews aren't slowing down.
There's still a lot of snow down, so crews will just be moving that around, making way for more snow.
And while some provinces are sounding alarms over salt shortages, Halifax is in good shape.
There's lots of salt down as well, so we'll only have to apply that in isolated areas as needed, but there's a pretty good bedding down to get ready for the next storm.
For residents, preparation looks a little different.
We don't really have any plans, just stay inside and stay warm and not have to worry about shoveling because we're both retired.
We do have a lot of sympathy for people who have to deal with it, with kids and school days.
We've got our studded tires on. I've got my parka going. We've got salt everywhere. Get ready to hunker down. Hope that the power doesn't go out. Get your candles out.
And that's something Nova Scotia Power is also preparing for. The utility plans to activate its Emergency Operations Center Sunday afternoon, bringing extra crews and resources online in case of any outages. As for parking, the municipality hasn't officially put out a ban yet, but it's warning folks to start preparing now. Hafsa Arif, CTV News, Halifax.
All right, this seems like an appropriate time on this Friday night to get our first look at the forecast. For that, we'll head over to Kaylin in the CTV Atlantic Weather Center. This is a big one and a blustery one.
It is, and we have special weather statements already in effect across the province of Nova Scotia. 15 to 35 centimeters of snow possible late Sunday into Monday, accompanied by, as Bruce mentioned, some wind gusts that could peak between 60 and 80 kilometers per hour. Now added underneath the special weather statement, both Kings and Queens County and Prince Edward Island. There, the snowfall totals a little bit lower, 10 to 20 centimeters, but still with some high and gusty winds expected out of the north and northeast. Here's the timing for how the system is expected to move in at the end of the weekend. Developing the snow, that is, across Nova Scotia Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. And then Sunday evening and night, the snowfall rates increase. That's when weather conditions will deteriorate, the snow coming down heavier, and the winds picking up to become gustier. It'll also be Sunday evening and night. The Prince Edward Island will start to get into that snow, and some lighter snow is possible for parts of the south of New Brunswick. Now, snow will be ongoing for areas of Nova Scotia and PEI into Monday morning, and then gradually diminishing west to east throughout the day, except for a risk of some snow squalls around the north shore of Nova Scotia and locations in Cape Breton. Here's my own snowfall outlook. I'm expecting some snowfall totals pretty close to the 30-centimeter mark up and down the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia. The possibility of some higher amounts in parts of Pictou and Antigonish counties could be closer to 40 centimeters, and same thing goes for the higher terrain in Cape Breton. 15 to 30 centimeters possible for the remainder of Nova Scotia, eastern parts of Prince Edward Island, and then lower snowfall amounts into the rest of that province, as well as New Brunswick. More on the forecast coming up later on. Bruce.
Right you are. Thank you, Kaylin. A Canadian soldier based in New Brunswick has died in Latvia. Canadian Armed Forces says gunner Sebastian Halmagian died near Riga, Latvia, yesterday. Local and military police are investigating. Originally from Hamilton, he was posted to the 4th Artillery Regiment based at Base Gagetown in Oromocto. He'd served for nearly 3 years. Latvia was his first overseas deployment. New Brunswick's Police Oversight Agency has laid 7 more charges against a former RCMP officer who was charged in 2024 with arranging a sex crime against a minor under the age of 16. The Independent Serious Incident Response Team issued a statement today saying Jeremy Bastarash is now facing more charges, including possession of child pornography, making child pornography, and recruiting a person under 18 to provide sexual services for money. The additional charges were laid following an investigation by the Child Exploitation and Digital Forensic Services units. Nova Scotia Health confirming RCMP are investigating a privacy breach involving a former employee in the Spring Hill area. Officials believe the worker accessed about 1,000 patient records with no justification to do so. The department says there was no access to social insurance numbers or payment information, but it regrets the breach and apologizes to those impacted. Nova Scotia Health does note privacy rights are also extended to all of its workers, volunteers, and learners, and so it won't say more about this particular incident. Police in Halifax looking for suspects after shots were fired in Dartmouth late yesterday afternoon. I told you about this last night. Police called to a parking lot in the 900 block of Highway 7. This was just before 6 p.m. Police say a 19-year-old man was sitting in a car when a black BMW pulled up. The driver fired shots into the other vehicle before fleeing. The car was later spotted in North Preston. There was a short chase. Police called that off, but the vehicle was later found abandoned. The investigation is said to be ongoing. 26-year-old woman will have to pay a $400 fine after reportedly leaving her dog in a parked car during cold weather recently. This happened yesterday on Tacoma Drive in Dartmouth. Police were called to reports of an animal in distress. The owner was found nearby and issued the ticket. Police say pets should never be left in cold vehicles at this time of year.
Get the Maritimes top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Lots of reaction today to Susan Holt's State of the Province address last night. Premier, as you'll recall, warned that belt tightening would be necessary, leading to speculation the deficit could reach some record highs and or cuts could be on the way. CTV's Laura Brown has more.
We do not have unlimited amounts of money.
It was a word of warning from Susan Holt, but the Premier didn't reveal exactly how much the province is in debt during last night's State of the Province speech, only promising difficult decisions are being made.
We have been engaging with the civil service on ways we could deliver services differently, things that we could stop doing, things that might be difficult.
She says some options will be unveiled to New Brunswickers next week. During the last update in November, the deficit was almost $835 million. Glenn Savoy believes it's a lot more.
They set the bar that they were going to balance the books, and they haven't done it. And they haven't done it to a record effect. $1 billion+ deficit will be a record.
We are up against what is going to be a very difficult budget. We know that.
Ministers confirmed they've been looking within for possible cuts. It's a difficult position to be in relatively early in her mandate, says this political scientist.
Clearly, that $1 billion deficit is a problem, and acknowledging it's a good first step. But the second part is, what are you going to do about it? And I think that's, complicating the challenge of the government with that more ambitious agenda.
The budget is scheduled to be tabled March 17th. Laura Brown, CTV News, Fredericton.
New Brunswick's Environment Minister says Irving Oil has done everything the province has asked it to do after that massive diesel spill leak in December of 2024. You'll recall almost 200,000 liters leaked from this retail station back then. The cleanup has been ongoing ever since. In response, the minister ordered a review of all gas stations in the province, and other violations were found. Now, though, the file has been handed over to the Department of Justice.
I can tell you that everything that we've asked the proponent has been done. So they've respected our rules and regulations are in place. The file is now with justice, and we will see if there is any legal actions.
LePage says inspections of fuel stations have been ongoing, but no other major issues have turned up. It was a shot curling fans are still talking about. Facing elimination at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, Nova Scotia skip Taylor Stevens delivered a last stone thriller. And the hammer not only sent her team to the playoffs, it also made provincial curling history. CTV's Jesse Thomas has more.
It came down to the last stone, trailing 7-6 in the final end, facing elimination. 25-year-old skip Taylor Stevens needed a perfect shot, and she delivered.
And she's got it!
The shot moved Team Stevens into the playoff round at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Doing that shot was insane. I'm still shaking.
Said Stevens after the game, the shot was still the talk of the curling world this morning.
Not until it finally connected with the second rock that I could breathe. I felt like I was holding my breath the entire time.
And the shot did more than secure a playoff spot. It made history for the first time. Two teams from Nova Scotia advanced to the championship round at the Scotties. Team Black qualified earlier in the round robin. Both teams curl out of the Halifax Curling Club.
We often say that about Nova Scotia, like, oh, we're a small province, whatever. And yeah, that's not something we need to say anymore. Sure, maybe we don't have as many teams as Alberta, but we can match up with anyone.
Brothers watched it all unfold, cheering on Team Stevens, recognizing the talent and hard work.
It took me 8 appearances to make the playoffs. So for these girls in their rookie season to be making the playoffs, like, this is going to be something that they will for sure never forget.
The last time a Nova Scotia team won the Tournament of Hearts was Colleen Jones' team in 2004. Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Jesse. Still to come tonight, Kaylin's full forecast, and we'll examine why more and more young people are working to limit their screen time. Coming up next, though, trade talk.
I think we can play a really important role there.
Maritime ports could benefit from opening up to more international markets. Details are next. Stay with us, won't you?
With Aaron and Peter. Check out that view. This is where we're going to be broadcasting from beaches, Turks, and Caicos all next week with Password to Paradise.
30 trips to win here. Passwords beginning at 6 a.m. weekdays.
Prime Minister Mark Carney, along with the nation's premiers, have reaffirmed their intention to double down on all non-U.S. exports over the next decade. Naturally, Canadian ports would play a big role in making that happen, and that includes 2 here in our region. CTV's Avery McRae has more.
The volume of containers cruising in and out of the St. John Harbor reached record levels in 2025. A good sign for Ottawa's plans to double non-U.S. exports over the next 10 years.
For us, the transatlantic trade and that gateway that we've opened up over the last number of years is going to be really key.
Both Port St. John and the Port of Halifax are committed to playing their part. In Halifax, they have the advantage of being the only East Coast port that can welcome the massive super ships.
Those large vessels represent about 38% of the global fleet. Between now and 2030, that's expected to reach 50%.
Expanded berths to allow for more large vessels, improved rail lines, and additional cranes are just some of the upgrades coming to the port property, all of which will help goods reach more markets than just Europe.
We are, via the Suez Canal, the closest east port to the Southeast Asia, to India, so I think we can play a really important role there.
While infrastructure improvements continue to be top of mind even after completing a $247 million upgrade to the harbor, for Bell Estabrooks, it's now about letting the world know they are open for business. Avery McRae, CTV News, St. John.
Okay, thank you, Avery. Time for a quick little break, but when we return, it is your complete maritime weather forecast. The Ice Festival in Dartmouth in full swing this weekend. Check it out if you can. Kaylin's coming up next. Stay with us. Friday night, 30th day of January, and this is becoming kind of a trend
One that we would like to break, or at least I would like to break. It'd be nice to have a bit more time in between these sort of winter wallops, but got another one on its way in for the end of the weekend, start of next week. Hard to believe, but this weather system is still getting its legs under it near the coastline of the Carolinas. The Carolinas are actually expecting to pick up a fair amount of snow, these parts of the Carolinas, from that weather system, and then us here in Nova Scotia, and then later on Newfoundland. Some weather alerts in Newfoundland, by the way, for this winter storm as well. They're expected to be impacted. Taking a look at our timeline, though, for tonight and for tomorrow, weather conditions are thankfully on the calmer side. It's very cold once again, partly cloudy. Scattered flurries for tonight. Chance of some snow squalls up in the Cape Breton Highlands. For tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud for Nova Scotia. Mostly sunny, though, for both Prince Edward Island as well as New Brunswick. Now, winds will still be on the breezy side. Out of the northwest for tonight, and then becoming westerly during the day for tomorrow. Sustained 10 to 20 kilometers per hour with gusts between 20 and 40, and wind chill still going to be a bit of a factor like it has been over the last couple of days. Low temperatures in the forecast for tonight for many parts of the Maritimes, headed down into the minus teens. Some coastal areas of Nova Scotia with some low temperatures between -8 and -10. Highs in the forecast for tomorrow in the northwest New Brunswick between -8 and -10, and in the northeast between -5 and -7. Central and southern areas of New Brunswick for tomorrow with high temperatures between -6 and -8 for most communities. In Prince Edward Island on Saturday, it'll be a sunny but cold day with high temperatures around -8 for Summerside and Charlottetown, -7 at Montague and Surrey. In Cape Breton tomorrow, high temperatures between -5 and -7. A mix of sun and cloud, still with a low chance of some flurries, especially for Inverness and Victoria counties. Highs of -4 to -6 for the eastern shore and north shore of Nova Scotia. Northern and central parts of the province for tomorrow with high temperatures between -4 and -7, including -7 at Amherst and Parsborough, -6 at Parsborough, and then -4 for the city centers Halifax and Dartmouth. The Annapolis Valley for tomorrow with high temperatures of around -7, -6 at Digby, and high temperatures on the south shore of Nova Scotia between -3 and -5. So that's Saturday, no problems. For Sunday, though, for New Brunswick, it'll be increasing cloudiness throughout the day. Beginning in the afternoon, there's a chance of flurries late in the afternoon for southern parts of the province, and a little bit of light snow expected to come in for Sunday evening and Sunday night. Might be 5 to 10 centimeters in the southeast of the province, including around the Moncton area. Flurries in the forecast for Monday. A mix of sun and cloud on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Wednesday actually looking mostly sunny. Chance of flurries on Thursday, and then a mix of sun and cloud on Friday. Now for Nova Scotia in the forecast, all eyes at the end of the weekend. During the afternoon on Sunday, it's snow developing with conditions becoming snow heavy at times, accompanied by high and gusty winds Sunday evening, night into early Monday morning. Conditions will be slow to improve throughout the day on Monday. And there will be a chance of snow squalls continuing into Monday night around the north and east of Nova Scotia. Chance of flurries on Tuesday, Wednesday, mix of sun and cloud, and a chance of flurries on Thursday of next week. For Prince Edward Island in the outlook coming up Sunday night, that's when conditions are expected to turn snowy and windy, continuing into at least the first part of the day on Monday. After that on Tuesday, it's flurries in the forecast, a mix of sun and cloud on Wednesday, and a chance of flurries on Thursday. Bruce.
Thank you, sir, for all your hard work today, and I'm sure right through the weekend as well. Stay with us. There's more to come.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Question, are you trying to spend less time glued to a screen? Well, if so, you're not alone. A new study suggests about 4 in 10 Canadians want to cut back on the time they spend scrolling or so forth. But as CTV's Callum Smith shows us tonight, that means that really the rest of us have no plans to unplug at all.
With information, artificial intelligence, and social media at your fingertips, it's easier than ever to get lost in screens.
For myself, it's been way too much, especially because of everything going on in the States. I am absolutely just fixated on it.
A hot button topic. Narrative research heard from 1,200 Canadians, finding the majority of people, 63%, are okay with how often they're focused on screens, but 37% are at least trying to cut back. Perhaps surprisingly, it's younger people leading the charge.
Millennials and people who are younger, the Gen Z folks, are much more likely to be saying, I'm actively trying to get rid of the time I spend on screens. So half or more of them are saying, I need to reduce this.
The survey results released at a time when some people are pushing for a nationwide social media ban for kids, similar to other jurisdictions like France.
These people are going to lose the face-to-face interaction and actually not know how to properly communicate with others because they're so used to doing it through screen.
And social media a commonplace for many these days.
What's your screen time consist of?
TikTok, texting my friends.
But she says she is trying to cut back, like many, for her mental health. Over half of those okay with their screen time say it doesn't have a negative impact on their life, while 40% and above say fun and entertainment is online, as is learning and education. But it's also a source of social life and a requirement for work, meaning for some, things will likely never change. Callum Smith, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Callum. Time for one final break tonight. Coming up, a German entrepreneur serves up skating and smiles.
Yesterday, we had our first people here skating a little bit, having a hot chocolate.
And the fun just continues from there. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
News doesn't wait, and neither should you. At home, at work, and on the go, stay connected with a team you can trust anytime, anywhere. CTV Atlantic and ctvatlantic.ca. Watch live on Crave.
What do you get when you cross a German entrepreneur with a big red farm, a fantastic view, and an outdoor ice rink? As CTV's Ryan McDonald shows us tonight, how about some outdoor plans for the weekend?
Sometimes I look back or think back myself and I think, so, okay, how did all this happen?
Christoph Mertenitz moved here from Germany in 2022 to manage this property along Route 4 in Howie Center, known as the Red Farm. It's a 400-acre piece of land that has hosted weddings and other special events. It has a 12-room motel and a summer beer garden. And last August, the venue was the site of a big outdoor concert headlined by Sloan.
1,400 people on the property enjoyed their time, and now, as a German guy, opening an ice rink for Canadians is a weird thing.
Mertenitz says the outdoor rink is the Red Farm's latest attraction and an effort to get people onto the property in winter.
Yesterday, we had our first people here skating a little bit, having a hot chocolate.
The ice surface is small. You couldn't play hockey here, and it has room for a limited number of skaters. But it does come with quite the view.
The view, I mean, is one of the best that you can have. Like skating here and looking down to the river, to the other side, to Coxey's Mountain. What do you want more?
He adds that the recent sub-zero temperatures have been ideal for ice making, and it's hard to sound much more Canadian than that. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Howie Center, Nova Scotia.
Thank you, Ryan. That is your late news for tonight, and that's it for this week, as a matter of fact. Just a reminder, if you joined us late or you'd like another look at anything you've seen, ctvnewsatlantic.ca is always your home for news and it updates right through the weekend. I'm Bruce Frisco. Thank you for staying up late with us tonight. We leave you with the names of all of us here at Bell Media. Have yourself a good night, a great weekend. Enjoy the shoveling. We'll see you again on Monday.